Hi everyone, I'm your host Frudler, and welcome to the Lost and Not Found podcast, a beacon of hope for those feeling adrift in the sea of life. Our mission is to uplift, inspire, and remind you that tough times are just temporary. Join us as we navigate through these storms together, finding direction and purpose in the chaos. Remember, you may be lost, but you're not alone. Disclaimer first off, please note that the content shared in the Lost and Not Found podcast is based solely on my personal opinions and experiences. I'm not a certified professional or expert in the topics discussed. The podcast is intended to share my personal insights and should not be considered professional advice. If you require expert assistance or advice, I strongly recommend seeking help from a qualified professional in the relevant field. Thank you for tuning in, and remember, this is a journey we're on together. But welcome, and I'm glad to have you all here. And today we are back with episode 4 on the Lost and Not Found podcast. And today's topic, I hope, is an interesting one. I think it's interesting to me. And it's the topic of, does working hard matter? And I think this is going to be opening up the floodgates for a very, very interesting topic at hand. So let's start. So why I chose this topic. So first off, I chose this topic because I think this is one I question a lot, and I think it's one that's more important. The concept of does working hard matter? It's often debated, especially in academic and professional settings. So that's why I want to touch base on it. And hard work is a topic that resonates with many of us. You know, in our society, there's a prevailing belief that success is directly tied to the amount of effort we put in. However, I believe there's more nuance to this idea. I don't think it's just as clear-cut as that. I think there's a lot of different elements that can be at hand for sure. So additionally, I've personally grappled with this question about the value of hard work, which is why I find this topic particularly compelling. Because once again, this is a very, very interesting topic of discussion. Does working hard matter? And I ask myself this all the time. Like, this is something that I'm always asking myself. So let's go into the next point. So we're going to be defining hard work. So definition. So hard work can be defined as consistent effort and dedication towards achieving a goal or fulfilling a responsibility. It often involves perseverance, discipline, and a willingness to push through challenges. So I think hard work is often praised as a virtue associated with qualities like determination, resilience, and grit. Definitely grit, I would say. But I think, however, there can be misconceptions about hard work, such as equating it solely with long hours or physical labor. In reality, hard work can take many forms and may not always be visible to others, because I think we have that linear idea of what hard work is, but I think it can encompass a lot of different forms as stated, you know? So we're going to dive into the question now. Does working hard matter? I'm going a little fast today, but I kind of just have things on a roll right now. So does working hard matter? And I don't have a definitive answer yet, but hopefully at the end I will have more insight and we can get closer to an answer that we can all be happy and agreeable on. But while hard work is undeniably important, its significance can vary depending on the context. Absolutely. And in some situations, such as mastering a skill or completing a project, putting in effort is crucial for achieving success. So, you know, when you want to tailor your time to learning something, definitely you'll have to put in a lot of hours, a lot of time, regardless of what it is. You'll have to go through that process. Absolutely. Because I think, what is it, the 10,000 hour rule or 10,000 something? It's like to master something, you need like 10,000. I forget, but I'll have to look that up later. But also on the flip side of things, I say, however, there are instances where working hard, However, there are instances where working hard may not yield the desired outcomes. Factors like luck, timing, and access to resources can play significant roles in determining success. So the thing I just stated is also very, very interesting. This is where more controversy, this is where more debate comes into, because can hard work guarantee you that you will be successful and guarantee results? Well, to dive deeper, and you'd have to consider, what do you define as success and what do you define as results? But if we're going to put it baseline, say, okay, like results, we're talking about generalized results and generalized success. then it's not just hard work. That I think hard work definitely plays a role, but there are other factors that come into play, such as luck, timing, and access to resources. But at the same time, I don't want to pitch this whole thing of limitations, because you could technically have all those factors and still not succeed. So I think there's a lot of layers to unpack. That's why it's not so straightforward as I think people in society and myself expect, like, okay, does working hard matter? Should I work hard or not? Yes or no? And I think having that mentality leads to a lot of confusion, because I think there is a lot of different elements to getting to where we want to get to. But this can segue into the next area, saying balancing hard work and smart work. Okay, so this is the huge debate now. It's saying introducing the concept of working smarter, not just harder. Now I see a lot of this stuff, especially on like TikTok and like Instagram. I always see this idea, especially on the financial TikToks, and everyone's saying like how to get rich and everything. They're like, all these people are just slaving away. They're working hard, but they're not working smart. And I say, it's not picking one or the other. It's a balance of having both, because while working hard is valuable, it's equally important to work efficiently and strategically, because technically you can work very hard but not get anywhere. So there is more thinking to it than just mindlessly working, I think. That is something to consider. And there's also something called the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule, that suggests that focusing on the most impactful tasks can lead to greater results with less effort. So essentially funneling, so essentially you're doing good work, if that makes sense. Like, you're working hard at a certain time, and it's the work that you're doing is maximized. So you're not just what's it called? You're not just working hard mindlessly. You have a more goals and visions, and you're making use of that energy and time to help propel you forward in the end, right? So I think, and then by combining hard work with smart work, individuals can maximize their productivity and effectiveness, I think, once again, I don't think it's like picking one or the other, because I feel like a lot of the TikToks and like the Instagrams, like, you're not thinking, you're not just, it's like, honestly, I feel like a lot of those people are scammers and stuff, low key. Well, high key actually. But it's a combination. You have to work with purpose, and you have to work with vision. It's not so much just the physical and expending energy, it's not just the hard working. Let me phrase this correctly. It's not just about depleting all your energy every day. It's about making sure that that energy is used wisely and efficiently to the best of your ability. So you have to use a fusion. You can't be so mindless and just work hard. You have to also use your brain and think. So I think there's definitely a fusion that needs to be talked about more. And then the next point is uncertainty. So there's uncertainty of success. So despite our best efforts, success is not always guaranteed, even with hard work. And this is something this is what it ties into the topic of, does working hard matter? So now we're getting to the real serious stuff. Because can I say, if I worked hard, let's say we come to a general consensus on what working hard is, you get up every day, you go put in all your energy out into the world, and you are trying your best, right? Will that guarantee that you become successful? Let's say you make a lot of money, or whatever your definition of success is, will that guarantee that you'll get your goal or result? And the answer, unfortunately, I think is no, because a lot of people, I think, work very hard and they don't get the credit nor results that they deserve. And especially, it's hard to grasp this when you see people that may not be working as hard as them, and they're getting way more. It seems almost unfair. So it really is like, why should I work hard then? Can't you see, like, these people are working their best, they're working harder than most people, but they're not getting the results they want. They're not getting the recognition. So what is the point? of working hard at all. Why not just give up at that point? Which is it's justifiable at the end to think that, but I think it's ties into purpose as well. It's saying even if no one notices what I'm doing, even if I don't get the recognition or I'm not reaching the goals that I'm looking for, if I can value what I'm doing to myself to still be impactful, then regardless of the external rewards and stuff, if I deem my work and the things I'm doing to bring purpose to me, then I think then working hard definitely matters. Because even if I don't see the external results, I'm still doing this for myself. So I think realigning what your definition of success and what you want to build towards is very important too. But there's also external factors, once again, such as market conditions or unexpected events can influence outcomes. You know, life is unpredictable at times. We can't foresee the future. Life, things just happen. But excuse me. So I think it's important to acknowledge the role of luck and timing in achieving success alongside hard work. But I also want to say this. People will talk a lot about luck, right? They're saying everything. Some people say, like, as streaming and whatever it is, right? Like, they just got lucky. It's just luck, right? I'm saying luck does play a role in life, but it's also to understand that if you do nothing, you probably won't get as lucky as people that are at least putting themselves out there. And this is not to say that some people get very lucky and then just life's kind of handed to them, whatever it is. But for the overall outlook of it, if you're deciding that I'm just unlucky, I shouldn't try anything, you are really restricting yourself, because then you're restricting your options to nothing or your chances of success to like zero. Because at the end of the day, to get lucky, you have to put yourself in those positions that you can have higher increased chances. So like it is kind of luck, but it isn't, because you're setting yourself up for those encounters or whatever to happen. Now you can still get very unlucky. Once again, you can work everything to the T, do everything perfectly, and still not get the results you're looking for. But that is part of the process, you know? And you just got to keep going at it at the end of the day, because once again, you never know. Like some people, they don't reach their goals until they're 80, 90, and you're like, oh, that's so late and stuff. But I'm saying like there's some people willing to keep at it for that long. And then imagine if they quit at like, let's say you hit your goal at 60 or age 60, right? But like you're doing the goal for 40 years and then you're going to quit at 59. It's like, could you imagine that? And the thing is that you never know. You never know when it's going to happen, and you don't know if any of that will happen. You can't predict your future. So all you can do is try your best and go at it. And that's kind of it. That's kind of how things go. But I understand it can definitely get difficult to do that as well, especially when you're not seeing the results that you want. But that leads into avoiding burnout. So overworking can lead to burnout, a state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion. We touched on burnout last week, but burnout's definitely a factor here. So while working hard is admirable, it's crucial to prioritize self-care and maintain a healthy work-life balance, because once again, we don't want to work hard. You have to constantly work hard like every day and go at it every day. You can't just do, let's say, 1,000 push-ups in a day and expect to get jacked immediately, like swole. That's not going to happen. You're going to have to do 100 push-ups, whatever, every other day or something, right? So you'll have to pace yourself and you'll have to keep consistency. So you want to avoid burnout, because that can burnout can diminish productivity and negatively, in fact, impact overall well-being, highlighting the importance of moderation. So if you want more information on burnout, you can see last week's last week's podcast. But once again, definitely you want some main you want to make it so you can keep on going and avoid that burnout, because once again you have to keep on going at it to get those skills and everything over time. And then personal reflection. So I can share some personal reflections of myself. I guess what do I have listed here? I guess I'm once again I'm still going through this journey of progress myself. My best example is I always like to use the YouTube channel for example. Like, I always question myself at the beginning. I was like, is working hard even matter? Like, why am I doing this? Why should I do this? I'm not seeing results. It's so difficult. Why should I keep going at it? And it led to ultimate burnout, and I didn't see a purpose in it. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere. Why continue? But so then I quit. I quit the YouTube channel, right? But then obviously, like, during that time that I quit, the chances after that, it's like I pretty much gave up in a sense. So I can't expect to get successful off of YouTube after that or anything, because I'm not putting anything into it anymore. So I don't think I'm explaining this the best way. But what I'm saying is, I came back to YouTube, and this time I'm understanding that to be successful, it takes time and it will take effort, but it's to pace myself more, because maybe I'm not seeing results now. But if I put in the work now, I'm not guaranteed to be successful later, but I am guaranteeing myself a higher percentage and giving myself more of a chance in the future, you know? Because you don't know. Because once I gave up on the channel, it's not like, oh, like the channel's gonna get huge one day and stuff, right? Most likely not. You're gonna have to keep at it and keep on working, keep on growing to grow community and everything. So I think that definitely working hard can set up your future self for higher probability and just make you leveled up even more, you know? But because once again, the best example I have is, like, let's say you're in school, right? And when I was in school, I like didn't care too much, right? So let's say me and my friend, right? I was the one that would just going by classes and just like looking up answers and not really caring, right? So, but my friend was trying very hard, right? So at the beginning, let's say 4 years, let's say this is college, right? At the beginning of 4 years, I was just goofing off and just looking up answers and like not caring. So I was getting the grades, but I was not retaining any information. But then my friends, they were working very, very hard, trying to learn all the materials. And when you start to learn something new, it becomes very difficult. And you're not going to know a lot, and you're going to fail a lot. There's going to be a lot of mistakes. So their grades weren't as good as mine. But by the second year, we kept the same pace. And I was still doing whatever, looking up answers, doing all that stuff, getting the same grades. Still high grades, but I had no retention of anything. I didn't know anything. But now my friend, they worked really hard the first year and they didn't get the best grades, but the second year, they had a better base and they started to pick up on the knowledge. So their grades weren't as high as mine, but they were getting better. But they still weren't there, right? And then the third year, once again, I was doing the same, just cruising by. Still no retention. I know nothing. And then my friend, third year, they got a lot better. They got better study habits. They were in the groove. They were understanding more the things, more the knowledge was connecting. And they were getting very proficient at what was being taught. And then their grades almost matched mine, but not perfectly. And then the fourth year came. And then same results for me. No retention, nothing. And then my friend, by then, they were not a master, but they caught up and knew a lot of it, a lot of the information, and they can deduce a lot of things. And they had this whole knowledge base that they set up for them that they learned from 4 years, while I myself had no knowledge. And then their grades were able to match mine. And then let's say we want to go to grad school or something, right? Like, or apply this. My friend would be able to take all their knowledge and be able to apply to real life scenarios and actually, understand things a lot easier because they set a base of knowledge of 4 years of learning. However, myself, right? If I was to get into the grad school and to go in, I would have no base. So I'd be like, I would be just in the water, just sinking because I wasted my time during those areas. Because who cares about the grades? At the end of the day, who cares about the grades? I had no knowledge. So you can ask me any question you wanted, but I would have no clue how to answer you. So essentially, even though I got the grades and stuff, it was not, they set themselves up, their hard work that seemed maybe at the beginning kind of pointless because you're like, I don't understand this. This kind of waste of time must be a mistake. Their hard work that they put in served them way more benefit than me just cruising and not knowing anything and just trying to get by. So yeah, I would say definitely working hard will pay off. I can say working hard will be better than not working hard, because if you at least work hard in something, you'll at least have something, some type of knowledge or something. You'll at least somehow level up. Even if it may not seem like the most relevant, you'll still have a better base than somebody who's done nothing and decided to just like sit around and do nothing. But once again, that's just my take. This is a complex topic that's often debated and still requires a lot of more research and opinions. But I think that's enough of my yap session right now. I don't know if anyone's here, but if you have any questions, we'll open up the floor. If anyone has any questions related to this topic, they want to ask me any questions or comments or concerns, feel free to ask. And now we'll open the floor up for just a couple minutes. Excuse me. But if not, then we can, certainly go into the conclusion of things. But yeah, once again, it's a process because I think, wow, this podcast is pretty fast, but I think it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, to be honest, it's hard. It's hard to keep on going and stay like, because life can be very unfair. Life can be, it's not always favoring the people that work the hardest, have the best morals and stuff. Sometimes it can lead towards, the people that don't deserve it end up getting bigger rewards than the people that do deserve it. But I don't think that should be the focus at hand. It should just be focusing on yourself and saying, you know what, I want to invest in myself. I want to set myself up for a better future. I want to at least learn and grow within myself. So because once again, it takes time. If you're going to do things right, if you're going to do things properly, you're going to have to work hard and you're going to have to work smart and you're going to have to put in the effort eventually. So I think understanding that, coming to terms with that and just doing it now, trying to tackle that now, is definitely important. And to understand the concept that working hard will take a while. This is not a short process. It's going to be a life, excuse me. It's going to be a lifelong progress overall. So, yeah, I think that's all I want to cover for now, but then we'll lead to the conclusion. So as we conclude this episode of the Lost and Not Found podcast, we've explored the multifaceted nature of hard work and its impact on our lives. Through personal anecdotes, insights, and practical wisdom, we've navigated the complexities of this topic and shed light on its nuances. While hard work is undeniably important, we've learned that its significance extends beyond mere effort. It's not just about working hard, but it's also about working smarter. By combining diligence with strategic thinking and efficiency, we can maximize our productivity and effectiveness. However, we also recognize the uncertainty of success, acknowledging that external factors beyond our control can influence outcomes. Despite this uncertainty, we've emphasized the importance of maintaining a healthy work-life balance and avoiding burnout. Through personal reflections, we gained insight into our own relationships with hard work, acknowledged moments of triumph and moments of challenge. Ultimately, we've been reminded that success is not solely determined by hard work, but also factors like timing, luck, and resilience. As we wrap up, I encourage you to reflect on your own approach to hard work and find a balance that aligns with your values and well being. Remember that success is a journey, not a destination, and it's important to prioritize self care and resilience along the way. Thank you for joining us for this exploration of hard work. Your engagement and feedback are invaluable as we continue to navigate life's challenges together. Until next time, take care and keep searching for what truly matters. Thank you all for tuning in to the Lost and Not Found podcast, and hope to see you all next time. Have a good one.